RJ Kielty, plumbing, heating, cooling, celebrating 15 years of bringing comfort to you. Feeling realty, call RJ Kielty, they'll get your system working to cool you down. And if fixing a leak is what you seek, RJ Kielty service is the best around. RJ Kielty, plumbing, heating, cooling, over 50 years of bringing comfort to you.
Welcome to Kielty's Corner, episode 35. And today, there's a lot of people that talk about doing stuff. And today we have somebody that actually has done stuff and continues to do stuff. We have Kris Blankenship with Bayonet here. This is near and dear to our heart. My dad was actually just in the podcast room. We were talking and reminiscing on old times. Bayonet's one of the largest, if not probably the largest, maybe in Florida. I don't know, somewhere around there.
No, it's a lot.
You know, yeah, a lot of locations do a absolutely amazing job. Great people. Actually, my dad and Kris's father-in-law, Robert, actually worked at the same company, and that's where they learned plumbing, George Gunner. So
Yes,
that's
they
really,
did.
really cool.
That's
So
pretty cool.
we could talk about that in a little bit, but
Pretty neat.
yep. But first I want to talk about you, Kris. So give me your story.
My story. I always joke that I am married to the company.
Yep.
Literally. I met Robbie when he was in college and had this dream of adding air conditioning to his dad's plumbing company. And I often
dream.
say that I accidentally made myself indispensable. I started working there, and I really love software. I really embrace software and processes and coaching people, and that kind of nexus helped me. My background in that helped me go forward. When I met him, I was working at the University of South Florida in the College of Business, and I was managing business academic publications. So I managed databases for that and learned a lot about software and how integral that is for businesses. And I was able to take that information and walk into this company, and I was like blown away because there was like 2 computers in the building.
Yep.
This is back in the late 90s.
Yeah.
And there was like banks of file cabinets everywhere.
Yep.
And nothing is digitized. And there's some lady writing down everything that goes on every job on pen and paper. And I was horrified.
Yeah.
So anyway, they have come so far and modernized so much and embraced so much. And it was through amazing people who joined the team and were able to contribute and were able to buy into the vision. And I think it speaks volumes like to both companies that their origin stories are so similar and their successes are both amazing. You know, I think that between the two of us, they're the most longevity of the service companies in Pasco County.
Yeah.
They came from the same place. And I think that says a lot to the personal values of Rod and Robert.
Yeah.
They instilled that in their companies. They created culture before creating culture was a buzzword.
Yes.
And they lived it. They walk it to this day. And they instilled it in all of us, the second generation. And I think that says a lot too, because second generations don't always embrace the culture and are not able to carry it on. And for the fact, I think what's unique about both Bayonet and Kielty is that not only did they embrace it, but they amplified it.
Yeah.
And that says a lot about how the second generation was raised and how deeply entrenched the culture is into those businesses that it can continue to carry on.
You both built that foundation. And without that foundation, you guys wouldn't be where you are today. If they didn't take those risks right back in the day, you wouldn't be where you are today. So it is cool to watch. And to be really quick, to see that just transpire where your dad came in, you guys had the conversation. It was like instant reminiscing about what it took to build these empires. It was cool to watch.
No, and I don't remember the number. I had it before, but I went to business school at Florida State, and I forget second generation family business. It's a very, very high percent don't make it.
Correct.
So that like stuck in my head where I'm like, I'm not going to be a part of that statistic. And honestly, my dad, taught me from a very young age, you're going to work for it. You're going to do everything. And I think that's maybe part of the problem is not teaching your kids that and giving them more than maybe they should get, you know what I mean? And not making them earn it.
That's
and
true. Gotta be
show the real
hungry,
value.
right?
You got to be hungry.
My husband tells a story about the day that he told his dad he wasn't sure he wanted to go to college.
Mhm.
And his dad
Yeah.
handed him a shovel and put him on a roughing crew.
Yeah. Yes.
He decided college was a pretty good thing. So
So I remember this. My dad always told me you're doing two things. You're going to you're going to school, period, but you're either in sports or you're working for me. So I would make sure during school year
yes.
I was in sports, every single sport. And then the summertime I would work, and same thing. I'm on the roughing crew, and I'm like, man, I've done a lot of hard stuff. I got so much respect for the guys for doing that, because I play football and I think it's hot and this and that. But like, you go out there, and this was pre Traco days. We didn't really everybody have Tracos until like 15 years ago or so. You're just digging, you know what I mean? You wake up 5 a.m., get ready, and I'm going like this and going out. I'm making sure that, when I went to college, that I was going to eat every piece of knowledge up, because of that,
Absolutely.
So much respect for those guys that every day, and even a manager coming out of the field, sometimes they're like, they'll start getting that rut where saying, hey guys, you got to do this. I'm like, just always remember, you've done it before too. It's tough.
It is.
You know what I mean?
It is. You never want to overburden the tip of the spear.
Yes,
right.
Correct.
Those are the guys that are making the machine work, and without those people, we wouldn't be able to stay in this room and have this conversation, because every person at Bayonet and at Kielty, so important to the product. And I tell that all the time. We're not anybody can put in a toilet. Anybody can put in an HVAC equipment. But it's the people who make the difference. It's how we answer the phone, how we go to market, how we handle our customers, handle those interactions. You guys have done an amazing job of pivoting into residential. And we have really remained focused on a lot of B2B, a lot of big construction still. I would say probably 85% of our business is still new construction. We serve a lot of builders around the state. And we're at 9 or 10 locations around the state, from
I was just looking at your website. I was like, wow, look at all that.
Fort Myers, Sarasota, Jacksonville, Northport, Venice, Lakeland, Claremont, Ocala. They're all serving the builder first, and then we kind of serve builder and then slide into service behind that, with warranty fueling that, and then
then hoping to
we
look pretty similar at each location, similar size on trucks, staff, so forth. Because you obviously you built the SOP, you just try to maintain that through.
Pretty much. Wow. It just there's been some acquisitions, as well as where we've picked up a company here and then folded them into the I think that was only once in South Florida. So that was a very small HVAC company that got us down to Fort Myers. And then from there forward, it's the builder relationships that pull us into that. COVID presented a huge opportunity. And actually, it was, if I think back correctly, it was the downturn that made a huge difference for us. So
I would say that more than anything, just watching from the outside.
Yes.
That 2008, when you guys just changed your business plan to let's stop playing around. Let's go. You know what I mean?
Right. And that was really Robbie.
Yeah.
I have to give him a lot of credit there, because he and his dad sat down one day and made the decision, we were not going to lose our people. We would be in the red if we had to.
Yeah.
But we were passionate about all of these people are trained. They're relying on us. And the builders at that time were kind of starving everybody, right? There was a big downturn, and we said
they're good at that.
They were trickling it, right? So we said, we want everything. We don't care about the windshield time. We don't care what we have to do. We don't want to lose our people. We will drive anywhere we have to get the work done. So then he got creative about coming up with ways to be efficient with it. And so we created a lot of efficiencies over that time, and we watched people shut their doors. So many of our competition said, we're not doing new construction anymore. And we're like, bring it.
We'll take it.
So we kept growing at that time, and he created these efficiencies. He's really brilliant about that. I have so much respect for him, and the things he's brought to the company, and the way he can think outside of the box and then implement amazing ideas and keep people rolling and finding great people. He's really good. I think one of the biggest things Robbie brings to the table is the ability to mastermind.
Mhm.
he is not afraid to go hire the smartest guy in the room.
Yeah.
And he's never intimidated by that. And he empowers those people to do the best job they can and surrounds himself with the best people he can. And so I think that is kind of really key to what he's done to grow the business. But then when the boom started coming back, builder market started growing up, none of the builders wanted us to leave.
Yeah.
And that kind of helped us because everybody else had shut down those avenues, those verticals of their companies. And so we were
Or
already
shut
there,
down their company,
or
Yeah,
shut down
it
their
was
company
sad.
altogether.
Yeah.
And we were still there. So it really fueled us. We came out of what was for most companies a devastating time way stronger and way
Yeah.
bigger with a bigger footprint. And I'll never forget the day when we got a call from a builder and I was sitting in my husband's office and they said, "How many communities do you need to have a permanent branch here?"
Mhm.
And I was just like, "Whoa, what just happened?"
Yeah.
Like they're asking us what we want. I feel like the script just got
Yeah.
flipped. And that really kind of was a pivotal moment because that's when we could open our first branch. That's
Yeah.
when Orlando became a branch.
Mhm.
And
That's
we hired
exactly
a
how my
branch
dad started in
manager.
Orlando too.
Yep.
Landstar Homes back in the day goes, "How many starts can you guys do?" My dad's like, not scared. So a lot of people are like, you know what I mean? He's like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, however much can you give me?" They're like, "All right, we'll give you 25 a week." And he's like, "All right, we'll start with 25." And we just, figured it out,
There you go. There you go.
Can't be scared.
No, absolutely not.
I can't imagine those original times, before Orlando started. Like, you guys would have to track all the way from here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to start, same
100%.
thing. Like,
Oh my
you
gosh.
can't care about
Right.
losing money because you're gonna probably lose money in the
Of course.
beginning. You're lodging people. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
wear
There's
and tear, everything.
yeah,
Oh my gosh.
So
The fuel costs alone.
yeah,
Yeah.
On
Yeah.
those
And that
jobs.
fuel was not cheap in 08.
no,
So
09.
no,
until
it's not.
never was.
Yeah.
I think the last time was 1998.
Well, I remember I got back from college. My dad, he's like, "I'm gonna give you, I forget what it was, $14 an hour or something like that." And I had a truck and I'm paying for my own gas. I'm like, it was like $100 and something to fill my truck up. I'm like, I guess I'm selling my truck.
Right. Right.
Those
Looking
were
for the
tough
Yugo.
times.
Looking for the Saturn or the Yugo.
Yeah, exactly. I went with a little Ranger.
There you go.
I'm like, this is a little bit better on gas,
Yep. I remember.
Yeah.
Fun times.
So I want to talk about the growth side because I'm kind of a geek on that. So having scaling so fast, what kind of problems did you see and have you learned?
I think process operations
Mm-hmm.
are, if you don't have a good SOP
Mm-hmm.
and you are not able to replicate those processes and enforce those processes,
Mm-hmm.
that's probably the
Enforce
biggest
it,
lesson.
correct, yeah.
Yeah. You have to have guardrails. You have to have
Mhm.
systems that implement your processes for you. Because if you rely on a person to run around behind everybody like a rabid sheepdog,
Mhm.
keeping everyone in line,
Yeah.
it will never work.
Yeah.
Right. So you have to build processes and systems that work. Your operating software is huge. We talked a little bit about the operating software that you
Yeah.
guys use. Being able to begin with the end in mind, to steal Tony Robbins's famous phrase. Like, I can remember we were talking about origins, when we were building, about to build the HVAC company, and all of our friends at the time were still like going out to the roundup.
Yeah.
Roundup.
Right? Those
Oh
are
my-
those are the days,
I don't know if
right?
anyone even knows what the roundup
Oh, I
is.
know the roundup.
Okay.
Oh, I know the
All right.
roundup.
You
We
got
were
me
sitting at
good.
home.
You have to
like,
fight your way out of that
Yeah.
place.
we would sit at home and like watch Tony Robbins videos and watch all of these, amazing speakers and read the books, and we'd sit down and be like, okay, what are our corporate values? And we would sit down and think about, what does his dad stand for? And that's what we created back
Mhm.
in the early days, and it still holds true. And being able to create those things that people can bounce off of, like ours are quick,
Yeah.
right? Quality, uniqueness, and uniqueness is our people.
Yeah.
Our people is what make us unique, what make
Mhm.
us different. I, for integrity, do the right thing when no one's looking.
Yeah.
C, for customers, because without our customers, we aren't here,
Yeah.
right? And K, for kindness, which I think is
Mhm.
kind of a weird corporate value, but it is who we are. It is, if you do the right thing in every situation and you treat people like you want to be treated, it'll all work out.
Yes.
And so being able to create values that not just influence how you run your business, but who you hire. Our people are our business, and
Yeah.
they're in the field, right? It's hard to create guardrails in the field when they're out there doing this work. But if you can create values they can bounce off of and they're comfortable functioning within, it makes all the processes pretty simple.
Yeah.
One of the
I
things
agree
I
with that.
recognize too, and mind you, I've known you for a very, very long time. You and your husband. By the way, her husband was the original 43. We won't go there right now.
Yeah.
He had my jersey before I did.
Yeah.
No, you had his jersey.
Exactly.
Let's get it right.
That's right.
Let's get it right.
100%. Anyway, long story short, very stoic. Robbie's very stoic and very, as a matter of fact. And I recognize that as well, where you have that disposition to where it's a command presence with the staff. And I recognize that. And I saw that many, many years ago. You never really ever get emotional because you can't. Right?
You can't.
You can't get
it's not going to help anything.
But it was like an expectation set, and no one wants to disappoint mom and dad. Right. And I feel like that's how you guys always run that company. And I've that's the outside perception, and it's commendable. It's pretty awesome to watch because they don't want to. They're like, oh, I'm going to screw up, and Robbie's never going to yell at me, but he's just going to look at me in really big disappointment.
Or Robert, or my dad,
Right?
Yeah.
Trust me, you don't want to let them down because they've never let us down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's
100%. And I think that another thing is that none of those people, not me, not Robbie, not Robert, are afraid to jump in the trenches. Right? We will get in the trenches and work right alongside our people. And I think that, being able to be one of those owners who never puts themselves up on a pedestal and never is like too good to roll up their sleeves and jump into the problem. And, whatever that may be today, tomorrow, yesterday, we're tackling them with our people. My cell phone will ring at 9:00 at night and it's one of my employees tackling a problem that still needs my input. And they know they can do that and it's fine.
Yeah.
It's great that they feel that way and that we can help each other.
No, the same thing. And I think that's the key to running a business is you cannot be afraid. You have to know every aspect of the business, what I mean, to be able to effectively run it. You know what I mean? Otherwise it's not going to work.
Then you're going to miss it.
You're going to miss it. Correct.
Whatever that the weakest link in the chain is going to break.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I have a question. And it's actually for both of you. Because I want Jesse to sound clip this, because let's just say I want you to talk to every plumbing company on the planet right now, every company that's between 1 and 5 million.
Okay.
What's the one piece of advice? I'll start with Kris. What's like the one piece of advice? And mind you, I know SOPs, I know all that stuff. Like, what's the one piece of advice you would give them to scale to get to where you guys are today? What would that be, Kris?
Write it down. 100%. Write it down. I'll tell you a quick story. Not too long ago, I was moving from one office to the other, and I found in the back of a desk a steno pad. Like, who uses steno pads anymore? But on it were our 1-year goals, our 5-year goals, and our 10-year goals. And we had sat down one day at a conference or something, one of those fill your cup events, and we wrote them all down, and we blew them all away. I forgot about that notepad, but and I said this to you earlier, Reagan, and I'll say it again. You can fill up your cup. You can do the research, you can make the plans, and you fill that cup up, but you have 2 choices. You drink it or you spill it. So the people who take actions and stay disciplined and follow their plan, those are the ones who succeed.
Yeah. There's people that talk about it. And actually I was at an EGI event and I think you were speaking at it. Yep. And I've heard it from you guys too, from Tommy Mello, whoever, but there's people that go to these events and they get all fired up. And then, I've done that one time before. I've brought people there to get fired up, write everything down. But if you don't execute on those things, nothing will happen. It's just, oh yeah, you went to an event. Oh yeah, that's cool. You know what I mean? But if you don't act on those things and create a plan, write it down, as you said, it just is not going to happen. Period.
Let's use this room as an example, right? Because when we first spoke, you're like, this is what I envision.
Yeah.
Now here we are, a couple of years later, and then you've inspired other plumbing companies in different states this is the template for them, and now they're implementing this in other states because you chose to, Tanner. Yeah. We could have had any discussion on the planet about, we're going to market this, we're going to do this, but then it just goes to the wayside. You're the one to implement it, and now here we are at episode whatever, and it's still continuing to grow. So
procrastination will kill you. If you want to talk about it and even play a victim game that I'm too busy to do stuff. Trust me, I'm too busy to do stuff. I was just in Arizona at my buddy's bachelor party, 3 hours different. I got, I'm wore out a little bit. You know what I mean? I got my, daughter at home. She's sick and that, I could make every excuse in the book, but we're here. You know what I mean? and there's a reason for that. Those are the people that succeed, in my opinion.
Find a reason or find an excuse.
Yeah.
Either way, right?
But basically what Kris is saying too, that's our key, is to look forward, because you have to then, if you make a goal, you have to reverse engineer that goal to be able to figure out how to meet that goal. Everybody can have a goal, but if you don't have steps on how to meet that goal, and maybe it's putting this person in place to do this, maybe it's
Right.
delegating that, maybe it's adding this software, whatever it is, you have to, and then act on that and be very diligent and put your mind to it. And that's the only way you're going to reach the goal, because
I would say 2 other things
Oh,
too.
please.
One is surround yourself with people who are on the same page.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Surround those
Yep.
people for your goal. They have to all be
you better
going
hold on
in
to
the
those
same
people. Yep.
direction. Right.
Yep.
And then the other thing is know who you are and know what you stand for. So I want to give a shout out to another plumbing company. I know nothing about them. I don't know if they're good. I don't know if they're bad, but I will say they got my attention. I was driving with my son in Wesley Chapel, and we pull up to this plumbing truck, and it's called Son of a Plumber. Never seen him before, never seen him since. But you know what their slogan was? This crap runs in our family.
Yeah.
And I will never forget it.
I love that.
It was great. I actually called my husband and said, we just passed this truck. So whoever you are, son of a plumber,
yeah,
you're rocking it. So know what you stand for and throw it out there.
Uh-huh.
And, that's another thing for growing companies is how do you market and break through that filter, right? Everybody has to have their way to break through that filter. And like you said, Robbie's kind of stoic. The whole family's that way. And we're not really big splash kind of people. We've kind of been quietly doing our thing and
Which is the
doing
best
our
kind.
growth, and I'll never forget the day that the new Ridgewood coach came into our office and with that old jersey, and it was the jersey he wore, and they were still in effect. They
Yeah.
were still using them at Ridgewood.
Yeah, that's right.
And he was like, what do you mean you're still using it? He's like, we don't have any money. And he bought the whole team uniforms that day.
Yep.
No signage, no fanfare, nothing posted on Facebook. But that's kind of the way they operate.
That's the best way to operate too.
You know
what I mean?
I want to say you guys are there. I will mention names because I'm allowed to do that. But you don't hear Dewey Mitchell bragging online. You don't hear Alex D bragging online. You don't hear Rod Kielty bragging online. You certainly don't hear the Blankenships bragging online, and you don't hear the Kieltys bragging online. Those are the companies that continue to grow. They're quiet behind the scenes. They're the ones that are making an impact, and those are the ones doing the good deeds that no one knows about.
That's
and
true.
I've seen that for a very long time. Now, mind you, this is hard coming from Mr. Marketer, right? Because you're supposed to, scream everything to the masses,
right?
But you are still proof that grassroots marketing is a thing.
And just doing a good job.
Doing a good job. Yeah. Just
100%.
doing a good job.
Because you want to talk about marketing, the best market is,
doing a good job.
a customer referral.
Absolutely.
All this other stuff is so expensive now.
Or the customers who stay with you. Like
Yeah.
our goal is to, we're doing all this new construction, right?
Yeah.
Our goal is to retain them. We don't have to spend money on marketing if we retain the customers that we did the new construction on.
Yep.
If we're doing, 20,000 houses a
Yeah.
year, that's
20,000
20,000 new customers a year
Yep.
that we didn't have to pay to keep. We don't have to
Mhm.
pay to earn.
Right.
We've been paid to get them into our system. We just have to keep them. So it's the retention part that we focus on more than the gaining part, which, you know how much it is to gain a customer.
Yeah.
There's a cost per lead for every new customer. So we choose to focus on that internal training and that internal marketing and that internal retention, those programs, instead of, having to make as big a splash. We still market. We do have
Yeah.
marketing plans. We have big partnership with a couple of radio stations. We do a lot of radio. And things like that. We do a lot of community. We do a lot of kids sports. We've created some scholarship funds that don't have our name attached to them that have put some kids through some schools and both private schools and colleges. And, we've done some stuff like that, but we just, like you said, it's not that kind of philanthropy isn't necessarily to grow the business. It's just because it's the right thing.
And there's a lot of companies truly that do that to grow the business. It's for the wrong reasons. And I've seen
Well,
it
it's not
firsthand.
necessarily wrong because they are still making a
Yeah.
community impact. It's just a different choice of how they go to market.
Yeah.
Good point.
So, and that's okay. I'm glad that everyone's helping the community, whatever that works, whatever
Right.
works.
I love that you said that because us too, and there's so many companies. And if you're listening to this and you're a new company, some people want to just charge a lot of money and they don't care if the person calls them back. You know what I mean? The lifetime value of a customer is what only thing that matters. You know what I
100%.
mean? So do whatever it takes. That it don't matter if you're a large company like ours, every single customer, and portraying this to all of our technicians, because sometimes they get busy and got to work late hours, but to spend those extra minutes with them to create a lifetime customer is the most important thing, because it costs so much money for a new customer. You know what I mean? And just
one
doing the right
interaction,
thing.
one interaction can
Yeah.
sour the whole relationship,
Yep.
right?
Good or
So,
bad. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And then I think that building on that, it says a lot that there's great competition.
There
And
is.
then there's not great
Yes.
competition, right? We both know that we're in the same business, we're competing for the same people, and we're in the same room
Mhm.
having a great conversation. And I think that there can be animosity between companies that are in the same vertical, but I think that there's so much business, there's so
Yeah.
much room for everybody, and there's room, but great recognizes great, and like recognizes like, and there are good companies that you like. When we're going into the same company bidding
Yeah.
against each other,
Yeah.
it's may the best salesman win,
Yeah.
right? Whoever's
Correct. Yep.
had the best resonation with that customer
Mhm.
is going to win, and that's great.
Mhm.
But it's the other companies that come in and, they're out there saying things that they shouldn't, and they're disparaging other
Or
companies
the undercut, right?
or undercutting and not knowing their worth or not knowing their values that make everything else look bad. So I think that be a great competitor,
Yeah.
be a partner,
Yeah.
even with the people you're competing against. I think that says a lot for growing companies. Look to those people who have done it before, because this isn't rocket science.
Yeah.
It really isn't.
They're thinking that short-term little carrot there is going to help them. But really, if you look long-term and do the right things, you're going to be around for a long time. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You
And
can't
that's the
burn
key.
every bridge. And I think hopefully customers are seeing that more. Somebody that's kind of bad talk somebody, I'm like, I'm not buying from you. You know what I mean? Because
Yep.
you don't have that same culture. You don't have that same core values that I have. So I'm not, I perceive that if there's something wrong that's going to happen, and they're not going to take care of it, and they're not, maybe not ethical and stuff like that, stuff things in my mind that like, no, I'll pass.
100%. 100% says a lot.
Yeah. So I want to talk a little bit. So we talked a little bit about the heritage, your father-in-law, my father starting at the same company. We started companies. And actually Mears Plumbing, same thing, and how much companies started off of our companies. I don't know. It's got to be in like, definitely, I don't know, 25, 30 more or whatever, throughout the
Yeah.
years, start maybe close down or whatever. And how cool that is to kind of see that, looking at the right way versus, the other way. But
Right. Absolutely. Well, they're
yeah,
inspired, right? They're
it is.
inspired by
Yeah.
the leadership.
Yeah.
They're inspired by the growth and the potential to do what's
Mhm.
happening. Sometimes they don't realize how hard it is.
Yeah.
Right.
Correct.
There's a lot of things that they don't see.
Mhm.
They see from their perspective, and sometimes you can be a little myopic. Like, I could
Yeah.
do that just as well.
Yeah.
But I didn't see a lot of them have the same level of success.
Yeah.
There's been a few that have lasted for a long time, but some, and maybe it's because they're comfortable in their,
Mhm.
and there's room for everybody.
Yeah.
There's room for the 5 truck company, there's room for the 100 truck
Yeah.
company, but it's I think it's an amazing testament to the leadership that they see, that
Mhm.
they want to emulate that.
Yeah.
And I mean, more
That-
power to them.
That's what I love about it too, is like, it goes to show how good, my father, your father-in-law, your husband, you, me, that people are inspired by it to say, hey, let me, you know what I mean? Let me try this.
I'm
You know
going to
what I
say
mean?
this though.
We gave them the
But here's the problem.
knowledge.
People like you guys, and I'm respectful to your
Yeah.
father-in-law and your husband and you
Yeah.
and your dad. You guys also have scaled since then, right? So they
Yeah.
helped you, but now your company has scaled,
Yeah.
tenfold, even since when dad first started and your
Yeah.
father-in-law. The problem is people like you make it look easy. So when you make things look easy, like, well, if they can do it, I can do it. And that's what happens. And at the end of the day, I know both of you are like, you know what? You would be willing. I know you would be willing. If someone came to you and said, hey, listen, I probably want to open up my own company in a few years, or HVAC companies, you'd probably be willing to help that
I would
person
help
go
them.
But what
And
they
maybe
do
even
is-
invest in them.
right,
You
but
know
what
what I
they
mean?
do is grab cell phones and phone numbers and do other
Do
things
side work.
and try to
Mhm,
do
do
side
side work.
work. When
it the
honestly, all
wrong
they have
way.
to do is come to you and say, "Hey, this is what I'm thinking about doing. Can you help me?" And you guys
Mhm.
probably would.
One of our supervisors, honestly, he's a great story. He came to us and he said, "I want to do this," and we said, "Okay, what's your timeline?" And
Mhm.
he was a great technician. He had been an estimator for us for a while. He'd done a lot of different jobs, and he left. He started his own thing. He ran his company for several years, and in the downturn, it killed him.
Mhm.
And he came back,
Yeah.
and he's still with us to this day.
Oh wow.
And one of his daughters works for us, and he's fantastic. And we actually have an education center now in Lakeland
Mhm.
where we have
That's awesome, by the way.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I watched your little live.
yeah we
recently.
have
Yeah.
a electrical, plumbing, and HVAC education center. A lot of the trade schools, they have, and you can attest to
Mhm.
this,
Oh yeah.
they have programs, and they tell these kids that they're ready to go work in the field, but they're not ready to go work in the field. So we have a training center over in Lakeland that we are able to help them learn and help them get the skills that they need
Relevant skills.
relevant skills. We have a helper training program. We have service tech training
Mhm.
programs. We have the ability to put on classes for specific issues that we find in the
That's
field.
awesome.
Mhm.
So as our quality control guys are going through and they're highlighting, like we had highlighted at one point, we were going through TXVs, like they're going out
Yeah.
of style. And we figured out that they were not welding them in correctly. So we were able to put on a
Or
TXV
not
welding
purging the one.
class,
Yeah. Nitrogen.
over there and just run people
Yeah.
through and teach them what they needed to do. And so we were able to pull teams off, run them through the education,
Mhm.
and now our quality is better.
Mhm.
So again, that's a process, right? We evaluate, we find the problem, we have the fix for the problem, we fix it, put it back out, right?
Mhm.
So, but being able to create things like that
That's
is
impressive.
huge
Yeah.
to be able to grow and that is probably
Mhm.
the biggest challenge to scaling is labor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to find qualified people and get them trained into your business and assimilate
About to
them.
say the your way, because we have like the Kielty way, you have the Bayonet way.
Yeah.
For us being able to train somebody from the ground up works tenfold versus trying to, we have a lot of really good people that came in and experienced, embraced our culture, embraced the way we do things, but there's some people like, oh, I've just done it this way. Well, this is how we do it this way. And here's the reason why we do it this way. And sometimes it registers, sometimes it doesn't,
Very true.
Tanner's more at the tail end. I'm a little younger than us, but at the tail end of that generation where like it was, fofo, if you will, to not be a trade. Remember, like you're trash.
Mhm.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, it's complete switch now, and now you have people and influencers like Gary Vaynerchuk, the Tony Robbins type, like millionaires are going to be people in the trades, like go learn
100%.
trades.
Listen, AI is coming for tradespeople.
100%.
Or I'm sorry, AI is coming for
right,
everything
yeah.
other than trades, pretty
But,
much.
you can't. I'm sorry, you won't be able to do X, Y, and Z. An AI won't be able to do that. Maybe eventually with a machine, but there's going to be someone over to operate it. It's funny. While you were talking, Chris, I wanted to bring this up because I found this morning. This was actually sent to me. Home Depot is now giving away free access to self-paced courses in HVAC, carpentry, and electrical and construction. Earn certificates with zero cost or credit card required. Like that's how desperate the workforce labor is. We need it. Where even as large as the Home Depot is pushing it out there.
Absolutely.
I will say though, like the perception has changed. Like I got guys that go out and they're apprentices now, and they really hold their head up high, and other people are saying, you know what I mean? Like, oh wow, you're an electrician, you're a plumber, they're like finally it's just like
it's a
back
in the day,
their chests are pumping
90s,
up,
early 2000s.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the truth.
Right.
And
You
now
couldn't
it's like-
make it in college, right?
Right. And now you're like, oh, I'm a lineman. Like, damn, high five, man. You're
Right.
a lineman. Oh, hey, I'm a plumber. I'm an HVAC guy. High five. It's
I can
completely
say
different.
honestly that the trades have been, when I graduated from college, that was not anywhere I saw myself going. When I started with Bayonet, I thought I was helping my fiance out, right?
Yeah.
But I never ever considered the trades to be my career path, but they have been so good to me, to my family, to so many families
Yes.
have these jobs. I mean, we're right around 1,000 employees at Bayonet. there's 1,000 families benefiting from those trades. And I think that, kids listening, high school kids, college kids, even the trades are an amazing place to hang your hat. And there's nothing but growth for
Yep.
trades. And I think it's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
But it's important
I
for us,
agree.
for you guys to teach that culture, and it is. And now you got to teach that culture on a national scale. That's what we got to do.
Yeah. No, I agree to that. And just like Kris said, it more and more people, how much people have we, helped build the houses, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we have like, performance evaluation, but we talk about personal goals, you know what I mean? And talk about building a house or buying a house, or, you know what I mean? We have just helped so many people that are really, really good people that want to do a really, really good job, that had this bad persona about them for so long, that now can walk around with, a bayonet or a Kielty shirt on, and people say, you know what I mean? Thank you. Or that's cool. How can I get a job there? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. It's been amazing to see that shift for sure. And I mean, kids aren't even wasting time on college anymore. And I didn't
Yeah.
ever think that would come out of my mouth. I thought college was what a kid had to do to succeed. And I would have to say, education is important, but college isn't the only place to get that.
Yeah. You could self-educate too. There's so much out
100%.
there now.
There's so much. You're only limited by the amount of discipline you will dedicate to it.
Correct.
But that was a discussion that would never happen before.
Never.
It would never, and you would be frowned upon as an oddball. Like, what do you
Mhm.
mean I could do that? And Elon Musk praises that all the time. He's like, I could put you on a YouTube course within 3 weeks. You'd be educated in X, Y, and Z. So
Right.
I'm glad it's finally getting there.
Well, it speaks a lot to the education system too. Like from the beginning, whether it's elementary, middle, high school, secondary, like all of it they need to be looking in the mirror right now. Because they're facing an education crisis, because they are not preparing our youth for what they need to succeed in society.
They're following World War II protocols to create employees.
Correct.
It's the same indoctrination
Correct.
for the past 50 years. What do you think you're going to produce?
Right. For a college kid to be able to graduate from college and not know how to write a check, not know how to file their taxes, not know what the stock market is. Like these are basic things, investments and savings and retirement and planning and goal setting and all of those things. Those are things that should be integral to education, and they're not.
I don't know if it's on purpose or not. They want to keep people down or whatever. That is the most important thing.
This is making it worse.
Yeah.
That's the greatest tool on the planet. Not to get off too much of what we're talking about, but if you think about it, we're actually decreasing their brain cells by putting them in front of this all day and they think the best thing on the planet is to become an influencer, not a trade.
Correct.
It's going to get worse.
Right.
The answer.
And ChatGPT cracks me up. Like I have this discussion all the time because like I think a lot in the terms of software, right? And people go to ChatGPT, right? And they have programmed things into their algorithm, right? And they think I'm going to ask ChatGPT for the answer. Guys, here's the 411 on ChatGPT. It wants to continue the conversation.
It does.
It's not giving you an objective answer. It's basing its answer on the previous conversations that you've had with it. So people go to it like it's Google giving them answers, and it's just feeding you what it thinks it wants you to hear so that you keep talking to it. So, like, stop going to ChatGPT, guys.
Open AI is coming for Bayonet right now. And there goes your algorithm. Bye-bye.
No, but you have to be able to self-think.
100%. It's creative. You got some comments? Oh, it's creative thinking too while he's looking for comments. And that's the thing too, Kris. I warned it. When that first came out a couple years ago, I'm like, there goes creative thinking.
Right.
It's over with.
Right.
And you just find yourself going to it all the time. Don't get me wrong. I use AI. I use it daily to be frank.
I do too.
But it's to what extent do I use it?
Right.
Do we have any educational comments?
Well, Taylor said, hi, Kris. So weird watching the podcast and not being in it. Miss you guys.
Taylor.
Still watching. Nice. How you doing, Taylor? My wife says, Piper says, hi, Dad.
Adorable.
Amanda Hart. Well, this is Brian too, but we're not really sure if it's Amanda or Brian. Says, well done, Tanner. Kris, this is how business owners should support each other. Correct. And then Missy says, hold on. I love this collaboration. And that's what I said, like, we're not competition. We're like all in this together. And there's some people like you talked about that want to have animosity towards each other. And that's the wrong way that it should be. And I think if you're
100%.
doing that and you're not collaborating, I think it's going to put you at a big disadvantage.
I think the
You know?
culture in our community, I think we've shifted that.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's not normal. And Kris, mind you, not to talk too much. I don't want to go too far into stuff that I don't know everything that you do, but I know that you're an educator, and I know you're educating people all over the United States, which is pretty incredible, especially in the trades. But what we teach them, they're almost like they're shell shocked when you could say, no, you can collaborate with another business. You can have conversations. They're like, what are you talking about? It's competition.
Well, I think that's a perception, right?
Yeah.
I think it is a older conception
Yeah.
where everyone had these trade secrets, right? And
Correct.
and
Yep.
we did it our way, and no one could figure out our pricing, and there was all this, all of this like shroud of mystery
Mhm.
that previous generations used to really protect those trade secrets. And to a degree, I mean, I'm sure it exists
Yeah.
still, but at the same time, I think the internet and information and all of that has opened up so much and has given us, so the fact that we're tradesmen and we're able to talk about it together, it just makes each of us stronger. I really think that there's strength in
Mhm.
numbers and there's strength in the
I
collaboration.
think so too. Oh, 100%. Why not all work together? There's nothing, you're not going to put somebody at, you know what I mean? You're not going to kill a business if you work.
Yeah,
if you work with them. It
I
doesn't
know
make
there
sense.
have been times where my father-in-law has picked up the
Yeah.
phone and called your
Correct.
dad and
vice versa.
about different things and different
Mhm.
strategies and different customers, like a
Yeah.
different builder that has,
Yeah.
Don't work for this guy.
This
'cause they're
guy
going
doesn't
bankrupt.
pay. They're going under. There's a
Yes.
reason they're not working,
Yeah. And they have done that through the years. And it just wasn't as, but I think that the animosity comes from small-mindedness.
Correct.
Mhm.
And
Indeed it does.
Yes.
if you are if there's anger and animosity, I look at that as weakness.
I do too.
It's 100%.
Yes. If you're going to be like that and you're working for me, I don't want you. You know what I mean? Because that's not the right way to. And again, it doesn't. Our core values. It doesn't meet. Those
And
core
we've gotten
values.
calls from companies on the other side of the state who will remain nameless.
Yeah.
That said, you stole our employee.
Yeah.
We didn't steal anybody.
Yeah.
They came and implied.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't lose an employee.
Yes.
And if you lose them for $1 an hour, you never had them.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly.
Those kinds of people that hop around, they're walking weaknesses.
Yeah.
Right. They are.
We all get them.
Yep.
Just go and they come back and go, come back and go.
Yeah.
I'm going to coin walking weaknesses. I'm stealing that for my next event.
I'm going to need some trademarks right
Yeah, I know. That's right.
I got a few from you today,
I
Kris.
know.
you
I'm going to have to
did.
say Kris Blankenship. Kris Blankenship. It's fantastic. Yeah. Well, I mean, you got, so real quick, let's localize it. You're both supporting Halloween, which is coming up,
Correct.
which is absolutely fantastic. Another plumbing company can come in.
Mhm.
We obviously moved it to Sun West this year, so we're super excited to have you, Kris. And then, of course, Tanner's been the sponsor of that every year. Let me ask you a question, Kris. How important is it to be that engulfed in your community? Like, what's your thought process on that? Because obviously, we talked about it being quiet about it, but what is that healthy balance of like, hey, you know about maybe this percentage of what I do?
Well, I think it does more than just help the community. It helps your employees.
Yes.
Right. The outreach gives them an opportunity to step out of their normal roles and jump into the community involvement, represent you on a different level. We try to do 4 to 6 outreaches a year. We've been pretty active with Bark in the Park. We do a lot of Humane Society, animal welfare stuff. We do a lot of things like that, education, sports, little leagues.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there was a time where we sponsored every single little league in Pasco County.
Yeah.
We built fields for schools that
Yeah.
didn't have fields. I mean, my husband and his dad went out there with trucks and clay and put in bases for schools that didn't have, I mean, it was a little crazy, but we've done those things. And I think that is a huge opportunity. And shout back to the first Halloween. Remember that unicorn that you had?
Oh
the
my
first
gosh.
Halloween.
That's right. The first Halloween is
Yeah.
2020.
Uh,
And truly, thank you so much, because my dad just died 2 weeks prior to that, and it was such a chaotic time. But then Kris was out there for hours on a horse with a unicorn. Excuse me, a unicorn.
Yeah.
Trotting back
that.
and forth.
Yeah.
You stepped right up.
Yeah.
And you came in, and no one knew. Like
Right.
everyone knew that there was a unicorn there, but no one knew it was Bayonet that made the unicorn happen. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was fun. We had a lot that year. We had a scare a lot.
Yeah.
It wasn't scary.
Probably
all.
full of unicorns.
No, it was, I
That's
think it
cool.
was like the Spanish. What's the Dia de la Muerte.
Oh,
Yeah.
That was our
Mhm.
theme.
That's
So it
awesome.
was like a whole bunch of people in the costumes, dancing, handing out. Yeah, it was fun. It was not scary. We missed the assignment.
She missed the SOP on that one.
Yeah, that's
This year's at Sunwest, and it's a lot more kid friendly.
yeah.
This will be the first time it's not a drive.
So we were ahead of our time.
Yes.
Way way ahead of your time. But Swag is a partner as well, and there's gonna be bounce houses there. This is the
Awesome.
first year that we actually have a liquor license, so we're gonna sell beer and wine for adults for the VIP section,
Very
which is really
cool.
cool. It's just a good time to come hang out, and then we have a professional water ski show.
Oh,
happening
how
as well.
cool out at Sunwest.
I'm looking forward to that part.
Yeah,
I
that
think
love
is, honestly,
Sunwest.
that's probably the coolest part. Let's be real. The kids are gonna bounce on Swag's bounce houses. And stuff.
All the adults are gonna be lined
They're
up.
like, I want to see that. That's pretty intriguing, and it's something different. And at the end of the day, who knows where it goes in the long run? It might be the next one. It might be time to hand off the next generation.
Yeah.
Like that's the whole point.
Yeah.
5 years is a long run, and we want to hand it off. But the problem is, like you said, it's hard to find those individuals that want to just take the torch and continue to run with it. But thank you guys both for sponsoring that this year. I'm really
Oh,
excited about it. Of course,
our
you've been there
pleasure.
forever, man.
No.
So it's been a blessing. For
No, the money goes to a good cause. That's what I care.
yeah, I mean, you know what? It's so
Absolutely.
funny because Kris, there are people that like, oh, why would you do that? It's an evil holiday. I'm like, listen, this evil holiday makes so much money. We're able to help so many kids during Christmas time for underprivileged families. So it all goes to a great cause. We're very transparent where the money goes. So I just want to say thanks for being a part of that.
Awesome. Well, we're happy to be back at Halloween
Yeah,
after a couple years away, and the team is working really hard on getting everything ready, and we're glad to be have it back up in Hudson. Hudson doesn't get a lot of love.
No, it doesn't.
Oh,
I still-
sorry, Hudson.
Yeah.
That's our roots. That's our roots up there.
I know, right? Your
Yeah.
original shop is right
Yeah.
around the corner from my
Yeah.
house, and I can tell you stories about pool companies where I have a water slide into my pool, and I want to take it out, and I want to put in a hot tub there. And I'd call, and they'd be like, "What's your address?"
Yep.
And I'd give them my address in Hudson, and they'd be like,
We don't go there.
"You know how much this is going to cost?"
Oh, no,
And I'm like,
horrible.
"I'm not doing business with you."
Are you sure you called the right?
Right.
That's horrible.
Yeah,
I
it's
got
true
a-
though. I
got
mean,
a
the
quick
perception of
2-second
Hudson
story on
makes
that
it.
one. So I used to have a business address
Mhm.
in Hudson, and I would call people like, "Oh, you're in Hudson." I'm like, what does that mean? And it's a shame that that's the mindset. But like I said, small minds, like we talked about.
Yeah.
But I changed my address to Trinity, but my business was still in Hudson, and it's amazing how business changed. Oh, you're in Trinity, Ohio, you'll come down this far, right? But if they think you're in Hudson, you won't go as far, and you won't travel as far. But it's a weird it's an
Perception.
odd
Perception is reality.
It is, unfortunately.
It is.
It is.
I just think it's so cool that like really a lot of like the larger plumbing HVAC contractors in Florida kind of came from Hudson.
Yeah.
Right? So
Both of you.
my father-in-law loves to tell the
Mirror,
story.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, Beers was up there. Y'all were up
Yeah.
there, and
Wow.
right on 52,
Yeah.
and we're on New York Avenue, which
Yeah.
is not super far. But he originally started off of Hudson Avenue. He ran the business out of his house on Hudson Avenue,
Oh,
right
wow.
next to it was on Angle.
Yep.
So, and he always says that the best thing that ever happened to him was that somebody reported him for doing business out of his house, and he had to get
Oh,
his first shop.
yeah.
And his shop is now that brewery off of 19.
We're at 19. What, in Hudson?
Yeah, by the dive shop. Oh,
I didn't
gosh,
even
what's
know
the
there was a
name of
brewery
it?
in 19.
Yeah.
horrible.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
I don't.
I'll have to
I'm
find the
do my
name of
due
it.
diligence on that. Jesse, what was it
Oh.
about?
That was his
What-
original.
Yeah, he built
Yeah.
that shop, and we actually went there to have a beer one night, Robbie and I.
Yeah.
And he's like, "That's where my dad's office used to be, and we used to have to put the desks on cinder blocks because it flooded so bad."
Oh, geez.
So
yeah.
yes. So
Yeah,
my dad's
so-
story is he started actually in a mobile home at his I think even at that time it was his ex-girlfriend's house there.
jeez.
And he said he had a door held up by cinder blocks as his desk. And then he moved to storage unit. He had 1 storage unit, 2 storage units, 3 storage units. And then he moved actually across the street with Wayne with God, I can't remember his name. But right
Wayne.
across the street here, he had half the building. And he was
Oh.
doing good. And then Wayne grew so much, he just kicked my dad out. And then
that Dolphin?
Wayne Murray. No, Wayne
Wayne
Murray. Big HVAC contractor in the area back in the day. He actually worked for us when we started the HVAC side.
Air prompt.
No, not Air Prompt.
I don't know.
Craft Life.
Yeah,
Craft Life.
yeah.
That's it,
Craft Life.
Craft Life beer.
Yeah, Craft
Yeah.
Life Brewing was our original
That's cool.
shop.
What a cool
Yep.
story.
Yeah. So there you
That
go.
is cool,
Next
yeah.
time you're at Craft Life, have a beer for Bayonet.
Yeah.
Our original.
Now they got to put a sponsorship somewhere on the wall.
Yeah, right.
The original Bayonet beer. Bayonet
should.
beer. Bayonet
Hey.
beer. I
Oh,
coined
gosh.
it. Let's do it. He
So-
gets it like a white Zinfandel. It's Tanner. Whiskey. I'm kidding. It's whiskey. He gets a whiskey.
I don't even drink.
That's right.
No,
I
no. I
got
get
a
bad
question.
headaches. So
Do you drink? Do you ever tend to have a sip? I'm kind of curious.
Red wine on occasion.
Yeah,
Not.
little
Yeah.
Merlot maybe with the steak or whatever.
Cabernet maybe.
Cabernet.
Mhm.
A little
But don't
Pinot.
drink.
No, not
I think that's
crazy.
because people are talking about it a lot, and I've talked more and more to business owners. Like, I don't even drink anymore. I just stopped drinking. People just it's odd.
Because we're getting old.
Maybe that's what it is.
mine, I get
Maybe that's what it
migraines
is.
for like 5 days straight, and I kept doing it for so long. I go,
Yeah.
this is just not worth it.
Yeah.
I don't drink
It's not
carbonated
a-
drinks, so I don't ever really liked beer.
I don't drink coffee anymore.
I stopped coffee too.
I'm
I
like
did
6
too.
years without coffee.
Good
And
for
didn't you feel like after you stopped, I was tired for a little bit, but then I used to do like an iced coffee, like huge iced coffee, 1 or 2 of them. And then I was even getting the energy drinks. And honestly, when I like cold turkey stopped everything, I have so much more energy now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't
when
have
you're-
like the up and down, and you know what I mean?
Well, I'm a big believer in that everything that you put in your body has a reaction. So I don't even like over the counter. Like,
Really?
I'm the
Like,
same way.
yeah, I try to keep things super clean. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been a vegetarian for a long time. So I try to keep everything super clean because, I feel like everything that you take, whether it's an Advil or,
Yeah.
Or a
Well, now
Pepto,
Tylenol, right? Look at that. Who would have known?
right?
All these years later.
Although I have to say, when that came out, my midwife told me, like, my daughter's 23
Yeah.
this year, and she told me, we don't know what this does, so try to go without it. Like, we
Wow.
don't know. So that was a long time ago, before any
Yeah.
of these studies. But my midwife told me that when I first
Yeah,
got
to
pregnant.
go.
Was like,
Yeah.
I remember going through the headaches and
Wow.
going through colds and not taking anything. They're like,
Your body can
last
fight it
resort
off.
only,
Yeah.
last resort only, because we don't know what this really does. So
I will tell you, that's been a shift. I'm sure you both have seen that, where there is a culture of, especially if you're in a CEO position, manager position, like get your butt in gear, get in shape physically. That's been a big shift in the business world, I think, in the past couple of years for sure. Like not just get your mind right, but get your body right.
well, it's all related.
It is
It's
all. I was about to
connected.
say that. Yeah. If
It's all
your body
connected.
ain't right, your mind ain't gonna be right.
You can't.
too.
It's all connected.
If I go, I work out and I go in the sauna or whatever, and literally nothing could almost affect me that day.
I get
If
it.
I roll in and you know what I mean, eat
And I
No
have
matter
crappy
what,
food,
you
processed
accomplish
food.
that day. If
Yeah.
you have a crap day, no matter what, you got your mileage in, you got your weights in, you got your, you
Well,
got
I just
that
feel
in,
like I'm
yeah.
mentally stronger.
Yeah, for sure.
You
Your
know what I mean?
endorphins are gone.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I 100%. I feel that way. And then if you don't do it, you kind of feel
Yeah.
That's so
You
good.
you start off the day with not feeling great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
it's true. More people should do it. Be more
Mhm.
positive, because there's too many negative people out there. Just saying.
100%.
So I got one last question. Where do you see yourself and where do you see Bayonet in 5 years?
Myself, that's an interesting question. I have a lot of passions that I am chasing personally. I have an equestrian sport that I have chased religiously for a long time, most of my life. In the past, since 2020, I've been pushing pretty hard, and I've moved up the levels in my sport. So
Awesome.
my personal goals for myself are wrapped up in my horses. So I compete in dressage, and that is my big why. So I'm working on that. And Bayonet, I can see us continuing to grow on the path that we're on. We have been serving a great building community, and I don't think building in Florida is going anywhere
Yeah.
anytime soon. So that has really been our primary focus, along with serving our residential customers afterward. And we do residential retrofits and COD customers, just as it's nice because we have this huge machine that feeds that machine and makes it
Yes.
smooth. So it's a great fit. So I can see them continuing to grow and continuing to open new locations as new locations, have need. So there's still a couple areas of the state we haven't ventured
Got
into.
to.
So I can imagine that that's the future for Bayonet. And personally, I'm enjoying watching my kids grow up and become amazing people who are not just great kids, but people I enjoy spending time with. Just,
That's good.
That's
just as
awesome.
friends. It's great.
That's awesome.
Good show.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
good one.
Oh, we got two. We got a couple comments and we'll end it.
All right.
See what we got here. Hold on. I don't know. My thing's saying something's going wrong. I don't
Yeah,
know. what's going
little
on.
technical
difficulty
today.
We lost the TV today.
Here we
so
go. Here we go.
Oh, here we go. What we got here? Missy says we have nearly 100 active volunteers sign up for Halloween this year.
Oh my gosh.
They will keep you. You got 100 actors.
I don't have anything. They do. let me just preface this for all the Halloween people that are looking. I have not done a thing. This is all the team. Just being straight honest. This is a team of individuals of I just don't know. They're just amazing people. I don't even know why they're around. They're just that fantastic. I don't deserve them. But you have Missy Hoskins, Jen Verge, of course. You have Stephanie Marie from Airheads, who has infiltrated the community as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just being a part of it and helping out and volunteering their time. Carla, and the list goes on and on and on. Swag, you have Lindsay Williams. These people have put all this together. And then you got guys like Red Tree, Dave Luke, who donates his hearse. I don't know why he owns a hearse, but he owns a hearse. And it's out front.
He was just here at our big breast cancer event. Like,
yeah.
He's over. I love.
But
Dave,
that's what I'm saying, dude. Like this is such a different. We're such a different community. I'm sorry. Like even as much sometimes there's animosity. Of course, I get my stuff. Everyone just comes together no matter what for the right reasons and helps people and does things. Like you said, for cancer, for the Halloween, because it's for kids. So all these people coming together, it's pretty awesome. And then because they know at the end of the day, like you said, Terry, you've been saying it for years. It's the core memories. Like you are creating a core memory for these kids from 5 to 10 years old. Those are the unforgettable years. Now you have an opportunity as a business owner to come and press the flesh with their parents, talk to these kids and make an impact that like, wow, remember when Kielty, remember when Bayonet, remember they did that for us? They'll never forget that stuff. And that's why they'll continue always to do business with you. Cause you know what? Everyone always comes home. They really do.
Well, I'll never forget in high school, it was either Dave or Pete. I can't remember, but it was Luke Brothers. They escaped back in the day. I was in FBLA, Future Business Leaders of America. We had an event and they talked during it. And I will never forget that. The things he said. And I told first time I seen Dave again, he goes, I don't remember it was me and my brother, but I'll never forget some of the things they said.
I can imagine because Dave's always had that just once again, another stoic guy, just a calm disposition the whole entire time, probably just give you very factual things like this is how life is. And if you do these things, you'll be successful. Those are the things that we're doing here. And we've normalized it here in Tampa Bay. And now to spread that word throughout the nation, that's pretty impactful too. So hats off to the Halloween crew and to all the volunteers that are putting that together because without you
it's guys, tough. It's a lot of work.
100 volunteers. That's amazing. And then everyone's going to be in character too. You're going to have a lot of people in character. So you're going to have like a lot of Instagram opportunities, Chris, where like you could just take pictures with characters all day. Picture it like a Disney World, but for scary people. You're just taking pictures with characters all day. Maybe we'll have a haunted Mickey. I don't know. What do you got?
We got Richie Hunt said the folks at Bayonet are super excited to be involved in Halloween this year. That's cool. 1 week away. Thanks for the collab today.
Speaking of teams, Rich has really stepped up and led the team. The service division is really behind the Halloween outreach. They are really excited. And, like you said about teams, that's the core behind every business. We've built a team that we don't necessarily deserve, and they show up every day and they work their tails off. And, hats off to my team. And, I appreciate every single one of you and what you do, because we wouldn't be Bayonet without you.
Let me get a clap for that.
We'll clap it up with that. Well, it was awesome. This was a great podcast. Is there any more before we go?
Two more real quick. Local Web Booster said, great podcast. And Missy's again says, actually, she has 175 total volunteers.
Go, Missy.
But 100 of them are actors.
That's all I wanted. So that's awesome. Think perspective. That many people dressed up, just having a good time scaring kids. And that's pretty awesome. So that was the Kielty Corner, and that was Bayonet, and that was Tanner Kielty. Kris, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you for having me. It was an honor.
Yeah, it was awesome. And then we will see you on the next one. We don't even know who's going to be next. You know who's going to be next? I don't think I do.
Now I got to look at my calendar.
We'll find out. But the next person will be awesome too. All right, guys. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.